we're going to continue our media availabilities for today. We're here with the winner of the DoorDash 250, Aric Almirola, driver of the number 28 Ford for RSS Racing. Congratulations, Aric. Talk about your day.
Yeah, it's an eventful day. You know, just all the way going back to qualifying this morning. Car was really good. Made a lot of changes to it overnight after practice, and felt like we made it way better and qualified fourth. So felt good about that. But then hopped over to the Cup car, and holy cow, I forgot, just how different they are. And I felt like a little bit of a fish out of water the first few laps of practice in the Cup car. Got in a rhythm finally in the Cup car, and then hopped back in the Xfinity car for the race, and I felt like our car was a third-place car to start the race. I thought that Larson and Allmendinger were certainly better than we were, and on the long run, I could start breaking even and keep pace with them, but from lap 3 to lap 12 of a run, they would just beat me pretty bad. So Davin made quite a few adjustments to the race car, and after the first stop, it was heading in the right direction, and then the second stop, we made it better, and then that last set of tires, it took off on that restart. Was able to get by Suarez and Alex there on that restart in turn 2, and I knew that clean air was going to be important. I knew I was going to have my work cut out for me, trying to hold off Larson and Allmendinger, and I knew that if I could just hold them off for 7-8 laps, I thought that I could maintain and keep pace with them after a while. And Larson made a mistake getting into 11, and it gave me a lot of breathing room, and I was finally able to start slowing everything down and not really driving over my head trying to keep him behind me. I was able to just kind of run my pace and take care of the tires, and they started giving me lap times. And when Allmendinger and Larson started racing hard behind me, it just gave me a lot of it gave me a lot of ability to just kind of run my pace and not burn up my stuff. And I still can't believe it. It's amazing to go to victory lane in a road race. And of all places, I thought that this is absolutely a place I could get it done. My entire career, I've run way better at Sonoma than I have at any other road course. The only thing I can think is that it has way less corners than all the other road courses, so there's less opportunity for me to screw up. But I love this racetrack. It's a racetrack that I come to, and I always get excited about racing here.
Awesome. Well, congratulations. We'll go ahead and open this up to media. If you have a question, please raise your hand. We'll start in the corner with Lee and then go to Zach.
Aric, what was going through your mind when your spotter told you that Larson had hit the wall?
He didn't say he hit the wall. He just told me he made a mistake, and I went from having him breathing right down my neck to a gap of 10, 15 car lengths, and I think Allmendinger got by him through that scenario. So I felt better about my chances with Allmendinger in front of him, and I felt like if Larson was going to start putting pressure on AJ, it would, and those guys started racing, that I would be able to maintain my pace, and that they wouldn't catch me if they were racing. So I immediately, you asked me what I thought, I immediately thought just slow down, just calm down, slow down, don't make any mistakes, don't wheel hop, don't lock up a tire, and don't overdrive the race car. There was still I think 12, 13 laps to go, and I needed to take care of my tires because I felt like all of us, we were falling off really hard the last 5, 6 laps of a run. So was just trying to maintain and run my pace without burning up my stuff.
We'll go to Zach.
Zach Sterniolo, NASCAR.com. Aric, congratulations on this. First of all, first win for RSS Racing officially as well.
Yep.
What does that mean to you to be part of that team's first taste of victory?
Yeah, it's huge for a race team like that. What it does for them and the points and the owners' points and what it does, for their organization. It's huge, and just so thankful for that, collaboration with their race team. They're an alliance. They have an alliance, a technical alliance with Stewart-Haas Racing. So Just really happy to be able to do that with their race team. We were eating breakfast actually this morning in the hotel lobby with a lot of their crew guys, and they're just a nice, genuine group of people, and so happy to get them to victory lane.
And then the other question is just, you talked about after Larson made that mistake, just telling yourself to slow it down. Before that, as he's on your back bumper and as he's kind of closing that gap, were you surprised you were able to hold him off as well as you were? Did you know where you were, had any sort of an advantage over where maybe his car was performing?
Yeah, he was beating me up turn 1 up the hill and through 2. He was able to carry a lot more speed there, and I was able to get off most corners as good or better than he was. He could kind of carry more entry speed and roll to the center of almost all the corners better than I could, but I was able to get throttle down, get power down, and get away on exit. And I just knew that if I got off of turn 4 good, so he couldn't outbrake me getting into 7, and I knew if I came down the S's good and got off of turn 10 good and had enough of a gap to where he couldn't outbrake me into 11, that he wasn't going to pass me without crashing me or driving through me. So I just really calmed everything down, and even with him breathing down my neck, my main focus was just making sure I got off of those 2 corners the best I could to where I could get a gap and make sure that he couldn't outbrake me getting into 7 or 11.
All right, we'll go to Steven, then to Tom, and then to Bob.
Steven Stump, Friendship.com. Congrats on the win, Aric. After Larson made the mistake, at what point did it go from they're right on my tail to please no caution?
Pretty quickly, I felt like with 5 to go, I was thinking about, please don't let there be a caution. I really don't want to restart with AJ Allmendinger and Kyle Larson right on my back bumper. Especially with that sizable of a lead, and I knew that if I just ran the race, the race out with no mistakes and didn't do anything dumb on my part, that it was going to be pretty tough for those guys to run me down and beat me. But certainly, praying for no cautions at that point.
And then to add what you're saying about slowing it down, your last 2 laps were 2 seconds slower than AJ. Obviously, this is also one of the longest final laps. In addition to getting it home, kind of what was going through your mind as you're making your way through the turns for the final time?
Yeah, just making sure that I just brought it home. I knew I had a huge lead, and the last thing you want to do is I ran my race car right on the ragged edge all day, just really on the limit of wheel hopping and locking up tires and getting loose, coming down through the S's. So, yeah, at the end of the race, it was more about just bringing it home. We had such a big lead, just get to the finish line without making any mistakes.
All right, thank you.
We'll go to Tom, then Bob.
Tom Zaleski, Iron County Today. Hi, Aric. Back up a little further. When the caution initially came out and Larson who had enough of a humongous lead, and it took forever to bring the field back together for that caution before the final restart. What are you thinking? What's the message in your ear at that point?
Just that it was an opportunity. We were actually really good on that run. I drove from, I think, 8th place up to 4th on that run, and felt really good about my race car. And through that green flag pit stop, through that cycle, was making some good ground. I passed the 21, passed the 7, was running the 19 down, and felt really good about our race car. And when that caution came out and we were 4th, I thought, man, this is an opportunity for us. We came down pit road. Our guys did a great job on pit road. We went from 4th to 3rd of the guys on tires, and then with Suarez and LeBay staying out, I thought that was a great opportunity for me, especially when Larson and Allmendinger both took the left side. I certainly felt like going through turn 1 and turn 2 that if I could keep pace, that both those guys on old tires would go wide, and that there would be an opportunity to get by them, and that's exactly what happened. So, you asked what I thought, and when that caution came out, I just thought this is an opportunity.
Did you take all 4 on this time?
Yeah, we took 4 tires there.
Go to Bob.
Bob Hocker, Fox Sports. So, did you do this just for more track time? Did you do this for fun? Did you do this because SHR wanted to maybe do something with, just maybe check some stuff out on an Xfinity car that maybe they didn't want to do on like the 0098?
No, this was all about fun, Bob. Honestly, and to be totally honest, and you could ask Janice, my wife, but after Coda, I thought, man, that was the dumbest thing I've ever done, is to go run that Xfinity race. I felt so bad about myself after Coda. We really struggled with the car we took there. I was all over the place. I was kind of running with my tongue hanging out to run in the top 10, and made a mistake and spun out and just had a terrible day there. And I talked with our race team, and they said we had already planned on coming here, and I was like, I don't really know if I want to do that, but let me think about it. And I went back and talked with Zippy and Joe and everybody at SHR, and I was like, no, I want to do that. I want to run Sonoma. Of all places, that's my favorite road course, and I really want to run that race. So we were able to put that deal together. Michael Roberts Construction, Mike Avila is a great friend of mine, and he said, absolutely, we'd love to help you run that race. And everything kind of came together really easy. Ford and Doug Yates and everybody was excited that I was going to run here, and we built the race car maybe a month or so ago, and they put a lot of work into it. We changed a lot of stuff from what we ran at Coda, and our car was so much better here this weekend. So yeah, this was purely about fun. I don't think it really helps me in the Cup car at all. I can tell you that almost with 100% certainty after going from the Xfinity car this morning in qualifying and then getting in the Cup car immediately after that. I did not personally feel like it was very beneficial. The brake markers are way different. The transmission is way different. The way the car drives and handles and moves around is just way different. So, yeah, it was not something to help me on the Cup side. It was more just for fun.
We'll go in the back to Dustin.
Dustin Long, NBC Sports. Aric, your children have seen you win before, so that in one sense isn't new, but in a season where it's not been the easiest, in a season where you told us this week that, hey, your plans are still fluid for next year, so, hey, maybe this is one of the last opportunities. Maybe you go win a few more times. But what does it mean to have your family, to have your children with you at this point and this juncture in your career,
Yeah.
with where it could lead or could end?
It means the absolute world to me. I won at Loudon a couple years ago, and they weren't there. We were getting ready to leave on vacation. There's a theme. We typically we find a way to victory lane before our off week. But yeah, when I won at Loudon, I was really disappointed. And as time goes on, you start to think, like, am I going to get to share that experience with them again? For me, it's my favorite experience to share with my kids. I mean, I love going and racing and doing this as a family. This is what we do. I've never wanted this to be what I do, and that I get on an airplane and leave to go race, and that they stay home, and Dad comes home, at the wee hours of Sunday morning or Sunday night, Monday morning, and check back in as Dad, right? Like, I've always wanted this to be something that we do. That's how I was raised. That's how Janice, my wife, was raised, with going racing with her dad and mom, motorcycle racing, and even in the NASCAR series when her dad was a crew chief. So that's how we just operate, and I love the fact that they get to come and be with me. And I've told them, sometimes Janice is like, man, I know sometimes it's a lot more work when we come with you, and if you ever want us to stay home, just tell me. And I have told her time and time again, I would rather run like absolute dog poop and have them here than to win every single race and them not be here. I mean, I love having them here. I love, being a dad 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. And so to share those moments where we get to have success and go to victory lane with them, is special because they look up to me as dad, right? You think dad's pretty cool? But I'm even way cooler when we win, right? Like dad's, yeah. Well, at least I feel that way. So, maybe they don't care, but I feel that way. I feel way cooler to them when I win and share that experience with them. And, for me, I get to share that experience on the flip side with them. Abby is amazing at theater, and she's been the star of her show the last couple of shows. She had a lead role in her last performance with Lion King. She was Simba, and it just fills me with so much pride and so much joy and happiness to share their success. And then Alex playing baseball this year. They went 15-1 and won their league championship. And so to be there, that was Friday night before Gateway. And to be there and share that with him and run out on the field after they won and give him a high five and a hug, those moments are what life is all about. And for me, the trophies and all that stuff, like they collect dust and they don't really fulfill you. But for me, what fulfills me is sharing these life experiences with my family.
We'll go in the back to Lee.
Just curious, since you've won, or since you've raced in the Xfinity races at Coda and here, are you planning on doing the same thing for the street course?
No, I think the street course is more complicated, and I don't know. Maybe you guys can tell me, but I had heard that there wasn't allowed to be any Cup drivers at the Chicago street course. So maybe you guys could tell me differently. But I was told that no Cup guys could run that race.
I've not heard that. Dustin says he thinks that's the plan. NASCAR, Ray? Okay.
Yeah.
So what have you done anything to plan and, just being able to win at a course where you turn right and left, does that give you any confidence going into the unknown like a Chicago street course? Yeah.
Absolutely not. I've already ran on the simulator twice there, and it's all I can do to make one lap without crashing. So I don't have a lot of confidence going there at all. I told Drew that I feel like our plan should be to practice and learn as much as we can in practice, and then for qualifying we should leave and go watch the Cubs game or something, and make sure that we start in the back so that we can avoid all the wrecks. That's a joke, but yeah, I do not feel very confident going to Chicago. I don't have any idea what to expect. We just, in the last 2 weeks, just got the track profile from NASCAR, the track scan, and so we think it's accurate, but we don't really know. But it's a handful.
The family's here with you. Do you guys have any big plans for the off week?
Yeah, we're actually gonna stay out here in California. Janice's sister lives out here, and her parents drove out here from Florida, so we're gonna spend the next 10 days or so in California and hang out. We're gonna go surfing and go hiking and do all sorts of fun stuff and hang out. Oh, and we're gonna beehive. We're gonna go beehive hiving.
Thanks.
Yep. And we're gonna go to we're gonna go to a Dodgers game, right? We're going to a Dodgers game on Father's Day.
We will go in the back to Zach.
I'm just curious. It sounds like you're in a you've been for the last year and a half in this mindset where family, it really is most important, number one to you right now. What's been the overall theme of this year from your perspective, both competition, personally, especially as you're weighing what might lie ahead?
Man, just right off the top of my head, when I think about one word, I think of grind. It's a grind. It is absolutely a grind, and I'm doing a lot of stuff. Like, we have a lot of sponsors and a lot of partners to take care of, and the race schedule, as you guys all know, you cover it. It's a grind, and trying to be a full-time dad and a full-time husband, and find time to take my wife on date night and make every baseball game and make every theater performance and all of that stuff, and do some TV stuff with Fox, with Race Hub, and just the amount of workload that I have going on right now is the best way I can describe it is a grind, and I have learned to embrace it. I have learned to embrace the grind and love the grind. Some days it's a little bit overwhelming, but for most days, I love it. I have a great team of people around me that help support me. There's absolutely no way that I could do it without them if I had to do it all on my own. But yeah, I think the best way to describe it for me is a grind, and I love it.
We'll take one final question in the back from John.
JohnNewbyHeavy.com. So last year, Cole, he won at Fontana with SS Greenlight, and then you won this year with RSS. What is it that you guys are able to bring to these smaller teams that kind of helps them break through for these first wins in their history?
Well, I think it's parts and pieces, right? A lot of those smaller teams race with a lot of used parts, used brakes. They don't get to spend a lot of time massaging on their cars in the Hawkeye and, trying to fine-tune. They're just trying to get the race car to the racetrack. And I think that, them having an alliance with a team like Stewart-Haas Racing gives them the opportunity to have somebody come over to their shop. We go over there, our guys, and massage on their stuff. They bring their car over to our shop. We pull it down on the pull-down rig, change out suspension parts and put suspension parts on their car that they don't have, massage on the body to get everything out of the aerodynamics that you can. Just all those little things. And in a series that's as competitive as the Xfinity series, all that stuff matters. That's the difference between running 20th and top 10, and the difference between running top 10 and top 5 is just more of the detail stuff. And I think that's the difference between an organization like Stewart-Haas Racing and RSS is that we have more resources, more manpower, and a lot more experience at looking at all the little details and getting the most out of the race car.
Awesome. All right, Aric, thank you. Congratulations.
Thanks,
Appreciate
guys.
your time.